Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for taking the time and joining us today for this exclusive webinar with the First Faculty of Medicine at Charles University. Today's webinar will be going on for 1 hour. In the first half, we'll discuss about the university and then we'll have a Q&A session. So today we have Dr. Suku and Salvador from the First Faculty. Over to you, please.
Hello.
Yes, we can begin with the presentation.
Yes, I'm trying to share. So can you tell me, you can see the presentation?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine.
Yes, please go
Great.
ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, morning still in Prague, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to introduce you to the First Faculty of Medicine at Charles University, which is one of the prestigious medical faculties in Central and Eastern Europe, and whether you are considering a career in medicine or dentistry. Our faculty provides an excellent foundation for these future professions. So why choose the First Faculty of Medicine? Charles University is one of the oldest universities in the world, founded already in 1348. Our faculty, the First Faculty of Medicine, is the largest and oldest medical faculty, not only in the Czech Republic, and I would say in Central Europe. What sets us apart? You can see 4 points here at my presentation. So first point is that we have a strong academic community. We are a faculty that supports our students throughout their studies. You will be part of a diverse and international student body, learning from top experts in the field. What's more, we have early clinical experience and simulation-based learning. So from the early years of your studies, you will engage in hands-on training in hospitals and through advanced medical simulations. What I would add is really good if you are at our university. We have a really rich international cooperation with other universities. We have a program which is called Erasmus Plus program. So as a student, you will have opportunities for international exchange programs, for research collaborations, and access to broad network of medical professionals. So, for example, you can spend semester or two at universities such as Sorbonne in Paris, or you can go to other European countries such as Germany, Spain, and even United Kingdom. So it's real. That's one of the big advantages to be at our university. What I would add is international recognitions or recognition. Our degrees are recognized in the UA, United Kingdom, and United States, and many other countries, which opens doors to medical careers worldwide. We have got, or our graduates go on to secure top residency positions and medical jobs across Europe and beyond. So that's why you can choose our faculty, our university. Might be interesting, or you might know that at our university we have 5 faculties of medicine. As I said, we are First Faculty of Medicine, which is the largest one, and in which you can find really a great number of professionals. So these are the advantages to study at our university. Here you can see what is Charles First. We have got a big tradition. We are the second oldest medical school in the world. We are the largest medical faculty in the Czech Republic. If you are asking about ranking, we belong to top 1% of all medical schools globally. So really good quality education in medicine and dentistry. We have a clinical training which is provided in 5 major hospitals across Prague. You are encouraged to go into research during your studies, and we have state-of-the-art facilities and procedures. I have several photos here at my presentation as well. So this is what I wanted to show you, some of our rooms or some of our well, what you can see at our faculty if you come and be part as a student. So one of the big halls, our when you can spend your studies. So it's just as an illustration for my presentation, dentistry. We offer 2 English taught programs. First is general medicine, which is a 6-year program that prepares students for a career in medicine, whether in hospital, research, or specialization. The second one is dentistry, which is a 5-year program focused on training future dentists, combining theoretical knowledge with practical experience in modern clinics. Our curriculum is carefully designed to balance theoretical foundations with the clinical practice. So you can see from this picture that the first 3 years focus on preclinical subjects such as anatomy, biochemistry, or physiology, why the later years emphasize hands-on clinical training. The same you can see in dentistry. First years are preclinical. You can study dentistry, preventive dentistry, physiology, biochemistry, and then from the 3rd year you have clinical rotations. When we are speaking about the academic year, the academic year is divided into 2 semesters, each lasting approximately 15 weeks, with classes starting in the 1st week of October. So it's our academic year. Before I will speak about student support, very important thing is admission process, how to apply and what is important. So applying to our faculty is straightforward process. There are online applications which are available already from the December 1st. And until if you would like to take it with Dr. Kadri, it's the important date, the end of March, to hand in your application. If you would like to be present in one of the Prague term, it's 30th of April. Entrance exam is or has 2 levels or two rounds to be precise. First one is a multiple choice test which covers biology, chemistry, and physics. And if you are successful in this first round, you are going to the second round, which is followed by which is multiple mini interviews, MMI. You have 5, and it is online already. First one is you need to sit for an exam. It's when you are with Dr. Quadri, it's in Dubai, and then the second one is online. It has 5 questions. One of the question can be, or these questions are more about your way of thinking. So don't worry about it. Each question has approximately 10 minutes. So it's quite well, for me, it's quite interesting because you are moving from one station to another station with different questions. In this respect, we don't need any diploma of English because the second part of admission process, I mean MMI, is in English, so we can see you can speak English. Then the necessary documents and requirements to enter our university is proof of completed secondary education for verification and nostrification. Then, if you are successful, you get certificate of acceptance and accommodation confirmation, and then visa process then follows a visa process if required, and payment of tuition fees and completion of paperwork before enrollment. And then student life and support, choosing to study at the first faculty of medicine means joining a vibrant international community in the heart of Prague. If you ask about accommodation, we offer student housing, and Prague provides affordable living options. We have often, or students ask us often about the price of living in Prague. So approximately already with the accommodation, it means about 800 euros per month. Our faculty has modern labs, libraries, access to university hospitals for clinical training. Another question is Czech language. If you need to speak Czech, you are going to the hospital where the patients speak Czech, so you need some basic knowledge of Czech language. But we offer from the very beginning Czech language courses. So while the program is taught completely in English, students are required to take 3 years of Czech to communicate effectively with patients during their clinical rotations. As I said, students have opportunities to take part in study exchange programs and internships abroad. Another thing really important for the support of the students is student organization or student community, which is called MEDSOC, and it's society, sports club, cultural and academic events, workshops, and in my point of view, for us, it's very important to support students here. We have a special student guide system. I'm really glad to have here one of the students who is the leader of this student guide system for this year, Salvador Palacios, who can tell you more after my presentation. He is here now. We have psychological counseling. We have now a special sports officer. We are trying to, as we know that sometimes it's really difficult for you as a student to come to a different country, and we know that sometimes it might be really difficult for you. So we are trying to offer help to you. We have a special officers, study officers that can help you with everything. So I would say we are ready to help you in any situation to solve any of your problems. So if you are in a problem, don't hesitate to contact us. We are really supportive, or contact MedSoc student organization. Just for your information, we have about 500 undergraduate students. We have approximately 800 international students, and we have more than 1,000 of teaching staff. One quite important thing is that if you are well, if you have problem, for example, with anything during your studies, you can use our one-on-one academic consultations with professors. So it is really important if you have problems with your studies to use this kind of help that is available for you. More some career prospects or post-graduation opportunities. So what happens after graduation? As I said, our degrees allow graduates to practice in many countries, including EU, UK, and US. Many of our graduates secure placements in top hospitals and pass licensing exams such as USMLE. Students who are interested in medical research have opportunities to engage in scientific projects during their studies, and or they can continue in PhD studies, which we have in English as well. Here you can see some of our present students. I just add some photos from sport events. We have a special MedSoc Spring Ball, which will take place this year in the beginning of May, when we consider it's very important for our international students to join together, to share some of the pleasant moments. This is a photo of our MedSoc International Society. This is our vice dean for international students who can't be here, but a really kind person who is really ready to help students with their problems. Other photos from sport events, which we are trying to develop more. So you can see then the study here in the Czech Republic at the First Faculty of Medicine is not only about studying, but it's also about well, now it is a little bit tricky to tell you just to enjoy only your life in Prague, but also study and enjoy your life in Prague, which is affordable, as I said, which has extensive international community, which has excellent public transportation, student employment opportunities. So I would say it's really great place for to be here. So what I would say before I will give floor to Salvador, who can tell you a little bit more or add something what I have forgotten. So join us in Prague. We look forward to welcoming you to Prague, which is a city known for its history, culture, student-friendly atmosphere. If you have any questions, we can try to answer the questions together with Salvador after the presentation. Or if you have more questions after, you can ask Dr. Kadri or send us a question or contact us at admissions at lf1.cuni.cz. And I would say it's the most important what I wanted to tell you here. You can see the international students with our dean or with the dean of the first faculty of medicine, and here some of the important data where you can contact us. So now I would like to ask Salvador if he can add something, maybe about MedSoc, maybe about student support, which MedSoc offers to our students. So Salvador, please, if you have any comments, it's now feel free.
Thank you, Dr. Soko. Hi, guys. I'm Salvador. This year, I'm a board member for MedSoc as the head of student support, which is part of the reason why I'm here. As mentioned very eloquently by Dr. Soko, the Medical Society is one of the major societies that are present in our university. And once we see you guys here in person, we'll show you a little bit more about what we do, how we contribute to the university, how we help you, and how you can become a part of MedSoc, which allows you to advance through your academic career. In general, I would say, honestly, moving to Prague was a very scary decision that I know for many of you might be on the tip of your tongue right now. But as Dr. Sokop has explained, this university has an extremely well-structured program that really allows you to excel in your fields of medicine. I have a lot of friends. I was personally also considering going to the UK that have gone to the UK, and I'm starting to see the level in difference that particularly pays off in the clinical practice that we get to experience here. We're very fortunate here that we have a number of partner hospitals, particularly Motol, which is the biggest university hospital here in Prague, and I believe in the entire Czech Republic, in fact, where we readily get to participate in a lot of procedures. The university puts a really big emphasis on clinical practice, so you will be getting your hands dirty starting in the first year, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of learning as well. Demanding, but very manageable if you put your heart to it, which I assume you're all here for. With respect to how MedSoc helps with that, as mentioned, we do have a student guide system, of which this year I'm in charge of, which throughout your first year, you are assigned 2 members from higher years, usually one from second year, which has a more interpersonal relationship with you because they will have just gone through what you've gone through, and then a higher year individual that is capable of giving you a more broad outlook on how to approach subjects. They're there with you throughout the entirety of your first year for any questions that you have, any advice that you need, any resources that you may need. Another big thing that MedSoc takes part of, but that's not my department, is the academic affairs team, where they're involved in the resource drive that our university has, where we've been compiling the amount of resources for almost 10 years for all of the university's tests, finals, weekly semester tests, etc. That really makes it a seamless process on how to study, on readily passing your exams. But in general, it's not only just about studying. Luckily, MedSoc is also a little bit about fun. Throughout the year, we do organize a lot of events. Particularly, our highlight, I would say, is Freshers Week and our Spring Ball. As was mentioned, 2 events that are very fun, gets everyone together. You have a lot of fun. So if you have any worries about coming here and just being deep in books your entire time and not having a second to breathe, I'm living evidence that it's not the case. You are going to have plenty of fun here. Just let us take the background work and we'll be completely fine. But we're excited to see you guys when you come here. I will be present at the enrollment day for the upcoming year, as I have been for the past 4 years. So hopefully I'll see some familiar names. And if you happen to remember me from this presentation when you come here, just give me a little tap on the shoulder and I'll be more than happy to say hi. But I think for now, I think that's all I have to say, Dr. Sokup, and I think we can move on to the questions if possible.
Thank you very much.
Salvador.
Thank
Yeah. Thank you very much, Salvador. Thank you very much, Dr. Soku. So we'll begin with the Q&A session now. Students, as mentioned before, you can type your questions in the Q&A box. It should be a button at the center bottom of your screen. So you can go ahead and type your questions and we'll be answering them for you now.
So I have no open questions. If it is,
Let's give our students a minute or two. I think the presentation itself is very
great.
informative.
No, I just wanted to ask if I'm in the right box.
Yeah.
And as I said, if you can still think about something maybe after this presentation, it is quite a lot of information. So feel free to write us as well. So
Yeah. So let's begin. I can see one question by Ms. Zaina.
yeah.
How would a student move to the UK for practicing out there or in the US after the degree?
So that is a very good question, especially because a lot of my colleagues are planning on going to the UK or the US. As you will see, with nearly regardless of where you do your medical school, even if you were to do it in the UK or in the US directly, every country requires a form of entrance exam for their residency. For the UK, it's the MCAT. For the US, it's the USMLE, which is composed of 3 different steps. There are exams that have been around for decades. So there are textbooks which are capable of purchasing, as well as courses that you're capable of purchasing, as well as utilizing the clinical and theoretical knowledge that you gain in Charles University and apply it to the exams. But essentially, after your 6 years, most usually during your 6th year, you apply for these exams and they are set at specific dates throughout the year. Similarly to how the exams for Charles University are set throughout different dates throughout the year where you can do them, it's the same for the MCAT and the USMLE. Once you feel that you have sufficiently prepared for these exams, you pick a date and you go and do the exam. And then for the USMLE, I know because a lot of friends want to go to the US, the 3 steps, there's step 1, which is a theoretical exam, step 2, which is a clinical exam. Once you pass those 2 exams and go to your residency in the US, if you so choose, you then, during your residency, at some point, depending on the residency program, do the USMLE step 3, but that's once you're already in the US. The MCAT is a single exam that allows you entrance into the NHS, where you then enter as a foundation doctor for 2 years. And following this, you do a number of board exams in the UK, now as a foundation practicing doctor, and then move forward in the NHS if you so choose. Similarly, I'm planning on going to Spain. So there is the entrance exam, which is called the MIR. So it's very similar to the USMLE, which is one huge 8-hour exam that you study for usually for a year or 2. So I'm in fact going to start studying for that this summer in my 4th year so that I can sit it usually around midway to the end of 6th year. So if you have a particular program in mind for anywhere in the world that isn't the Czech Republic or anywhere else, you are still capable of readily applying to these other programs. and there's no barrier to entry. You simply must apply, be a competitive candidate, as I assume you all are because you're coming here, and then you will be given a ranking on the exam, which allows you to choose your residency program, etc. But we in MedSoc, again, not my team, but the academic affairs team on our website, as well as in person, has a number of resources for a number of different countries that we're really associated with, particularly the UK, US, Poland, and Germany, that there's a very streamlined process that you can read as to once you've graduated, how you can readily go to the residency there. And we have a number of alumni, so individuals who have already graduated from university, who readily come and do either webinars or come in person to Prague in order to give prospective students an idea of how it's done, how to prepare, and any advantages or disadvantages that they think they had during their preparation. But this is a problem, or not a problem, but an issue for much later in your academic career.
Just to add to this question, we are trying to, because USMLE is not only important for students, but for the whole university or faculty. So we would like to develop some support or program for helping students to pass the exam. So now we are trying to find some ways how to help the students. So even for us, it is quite important. Just to add this comment, what Salvador said.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Moving on to the next question. Humera is asking that she's read online that to book semester exams, it's very difficult as the slots get filled quickly. Could you please confirm if this is true or not?
Which I can see now the second question, how many points are required?
No, it's the one on the top.
It's the SIS booking. Yes. So there is some truth and a lot of not truth to this question. The way that it works in our university is we have the SIS, also known as the Student Information System. This is where you're capable of seeing all your credits, all your final exams, all your results, and booking of exams. Now, by university regulation, each subject is required to give a 130% bracket during the official examination period for seats of the exam. So just for simplicity, if there's a flat 100 people in your year group, from the beginning of June until the end of June, which is known as the official examination period, the departments are required to give 130 seats for people to be able to do their exams. Now, what occurs sometimes is, of course, everyone's been studying throughout the semester, everyone wants to be competitive, etc. But this is not the case for everyone. So what very commonly happens, because there's no more of a fair way to do it, is it's a first come, first serve basis. Everyone knows at a specific time when the registration will open because it's announced several weeks ahead of time. So for example, my immunology exam that I have tomorrow, I knew 2 weeks ahead that on 8 p.m. on a Tuesday 2 weeks ago, I had to be on the SIS ready to register for my exam if I wanted my specific date. Now, this doesn't mean that you won't get an exam and that it's over. No, what it essentially means is that because the initial dates are very competitive, you simply might have to move your exam forward 1 week. Now, this is not always the case because a lot of people register for the early dates at the beginning, but then closer to the examination period, they realize either just life, school, or other matters have got in the way, and they also need a little bit of more time, so they deregister and move to later dates in the official examination period. This is when, if you are on a wait list for it, your position will drop into the official examination period, and you will be given the spot based on your wait list position. Now, you've heard that I've talked a lot about the official examination period, which is in June. The departments offer the extended examination period, which is a reduced number of seats, but there is still plenty of seats throughout the month of July, August, and even the beginning of September. So there is plenty of opportunities to do your exam, to do the 3 attempts that you are given as a student of the university. It's not a first fail and it's over. You have 3 attempts. And a lot of people, as I mentioned, back out of exams. And this is common. Sometimes, especially in your first year, you feel either overconfident or over shy, and you choose an exam date and then wish to change it closer to the date. All I say to that is prepare for the date that you've been given, and you're going to do completely fine.
Right. Moving on to the next question. So we've got a couple questions about the entrance exam as well. Before we proceed with that, I'm just going to be dropping in a chat regarding the entrance exam in Dubai as well. So you can always contact us to register for that. Moving on to the next question by Ms. Omera. How many points are required to pass the entrance exam and what is the difficulty level?
Well, so for the first part of the admission process, I mean the written part, it's about 50% of all of the points. Just for your information, if I'm speaking about the written exam, which is multiple choice test from biology, chemistry, and physics, the applicant will receive 1 point for each correct answer, and only if passing the first round, which is passing 50% of all the questions, the applicant can continue with the entrance examination to the oral examination, which is, as I told you, multiple mini interviews. And there, applicant is presented with questions and topics to discuss with various interviewers. Each interview is evaluated and scored accordingly, and only points obtained in the second round decide who is admitted for the studies. That is, points collected in the first and second rounds are not added up. So I think I can give you to chat our website on admission process as well, so you can have a look, or you can ask Dr. Kadri, who has more information.
All right.
And the difficulty level, yes, and the difficulty level I have forgotten is a secondary school or secondary school knowledge of those subjects.
All right. Moving on to the next question by Gokul. Does the university provide accommodation?
Yes, if you are accepted, you are offered accommodation, which is about now 4,000, 5,000 crowns per month, which is $200 approximately. But many of our students, I don't know, Salvador can tell you, are sharing flats in Prague with other students. Might be for them better, but yes, we are providing accommodation for our students.
Yeah, it's very common, as Dr. Sokop said, that many students for the first semester or 2 go to the student accommodations, which are extremely affordable, especially for a Central European city. And then there they make friends, or they already know people coming to the Czech Republic. And then they move out to either private accommodations, other student accommodations. For example, in the Czech Republic, there is the FIZ, which is a common one that I know, that offer affordable student packages. But overall, Prague is one of the most affordable cities, especially a central city in Europe. So finding accommodation is very simple.
All right. A question by Amal. Since she has not received the high school diploma yet, can she submit the transcript with grade 12 semester 1 grades along with the confirmation letter stating that the expected graduation date for education proof section?
We need the proof of secondary school ending just before the enrollment, which is approximately in the half of September. So there is still time to send us or give us your secondary school diploma. It's in September.
I can just explain further that in order to apply, we need your grade 10, grade 11 result, your passport copy, and your Emirates ID or wherever you are. That's all we want. We don't need anything else. Everything will be tested during the entrance examination. And once you finish your high school, either American high school diploma, either British or whatever, you will submit us. But you have to submit everything before joining the university, and that has to be attested, and notification process will be there after this. But as of now, you don't need to submit your grade 12 result or this, no. So that is perfectly all right, no issues.
All right. Question by Neil. After 6 years, will they get a practicing license and can they continue the PG at first faculty?
Yes. So after graduation and after the completion of your state exams, which are the 6 final exams in the 6th year, you essentially get a diploma that is an MD from the European Union, specifically from the Charles University First Faculty of Medicine. This does not allow you to start practicing medicine, but this is because this is like this everywhere in the world, no matter where you go. Graduating from a medical university simply gives you access to apply for a residency program. Depending on the residency program that you do, it's different lengths, as previously mentioned. And then once you've completed your residency program, this is when you are allowed to be a practicing doctor. This involves either opening your own clinic, working at another clinic, working at a hospital, etc. But as a freshly graduated medical student, you either have to go into residency in order to become specialized in a specific field, or you can go into research and then into residency, or some professors from our university simply continue in research, etc. Which brings me on to the next question of, can you continue your postgraduate at, I assume, the university or from your university? It is definitely possible, and I personally know some friends who graduated from 6th year 1 or 2 years ago and are working in the Czech Republic at different hospitals, so not necessarily at the university, but at different hospitals throughout the Czech Republic. Of course, this carries a number of requirements. This requires learning the Czech language to a B2/C1 level, because you will be interacting with patients on a daily basis in the Czech Republic. And there are other avenues as to which you can continue in the university, as mentioned. I personally don't know anyone. However, I do know that many of our professors, what they did following medicine was they moved on to a PhD program, which is essentially a long research where you contribute to the field that you choose to pursue. And then some of them either choose to remain in research and move forward with their professorships, or they, after their PhD, they choose to move on to their residency. So there's a number of options, and as mentioned, you can explore a lot of them, and it's a lot easier to explore them once you're here. But right now, if you want to be a doctor, and it will be like that anywhere, you simply have to pass medical school to begin with, and that's 6 years in this university. So before considering residency, which is a very long time away, you first must make it at least to your clinical years before you genuinely start considering any residency options.
All right. Next question is by Hanya. If I can restructure it a bit, I think Hanya is asking for any scholarships, if there's any scholarships for students.
We are now working on some system of scholarship, but we don't have a scholarship as such. We have some merit scholarship, which is for best grades, or it's based on your success during, but not the first year, from the second year on, but it is about 5 to 1,000 euros per year. But as such, we don't have a scholarship program.
All right. Question by Mr. Gokul. He would like to know the age eligibility as his son was born on the 27th of July 2008. So, is there any underage student rule?
As far as I know, when I moved here, with a signed document that is a no objection certificate from the guardian, because I'm also a July individual and 5 years ago, so I also came to this university just having turned 18. So, as if I'm correct, your son or daughter, apologies, I think your son, if I remember correctly, will be 18 by the time that they are coming to Prague, because as mentioned, the enrollment is in September. And from there, you would not need a no objection certificate. The only time where you would need one is if you have an underage child, so 17, but there with the university's student admissions department with a no objection certificate and all the appropriate documentation, it should not be an issue, unless I'm mistaken, Dr. Soku?
Yes, that's it. We need just the certificate for the accomplishing of this secondary education.
All right. Question by Sanskriti. What are the A-level requirements?
If it is it to admissions? I mean to the written test. That's as I said, it's the secondary school education. As I told you, there's these three subjects: biology, chemistry, and physics. So it's what some knowledge which is considered you should know from your secondary education.
Okay, can I just add this one? Uh, uh, Whether you do British, IB, American, whatever, like in case of, I mean, A levels, the university does not require any specific grades. As long as you pass your A levels and prove that you have finished your, I mean, A levels and finish your high school, and your certificate is attested by the ministry, that's fine. So if you get 3A star and if you don't pass the entrance examination, they'll not accept you. If you get C or D, but you pass the entrance examination, they'll accept you, because the university required only that they want to see the proof of high school graduation, and the most important part is to pass the entrance examination. That's all they want. No, so they don't care whether you get 3A star or you get BBB or CCC. As long as you pass your high school can be A levels, British, American, CBSE, whatever. So there is no specific grade. That's why you don't get a conditional admission upon passing the entrance examination. Once you pass the examination, that means 99.9% you are in. The only other requirement is to pass your high school. Can be A levels, can be British, can be IB, can be CBSE. So it means there is no specific requirement, no specific grades for your high school. No, thank you.
Just to add on to this question, we have a question by Neil as well. So, if a student has done A levels, do they get the exemption from the entrance exam, or is there any exemption rule for any curriculum?
No. I myself also did the A-level curriculum where I achieved 4 A stars, and it really only counts towards you when you're applying to universities outside of the UK, most usually. We did a British curriculum, and so that applies for a British university. But the only way that you don't do an entrance exam in this uni is if you were here so you're a Czech citizen, you grew up, you did your Czech high school diploma, which has a known equivalency for the university. But even then, many students choose to do the entrance exam from the Czech. If you are an international student, it is, as previously mentioned, a requirement to do the entrance examination. All you need to do is pass your high school diploma. So for A levels, I know that that's 3 Cs, as it's the minimum that you can take of subjects and the minimum passing grade, or, well, E is typically considered the minimum passing grade, but I know that 3 Cs used to be a requirement a long time ago. But as of right now, it's just pass your high school diploma and make sure that you do well in the entrance examination.
All right. Next question is by Hussam. Does the medicine program course is the same in different faculties of Charles? And what is the difference between those five in terms of recognition, student admission, courses, etc.?
So very common questions, but difficult to answer, I would say. Well, first of all, we are all Charles University, and Charles University is a really quality university. So all of the faculties are really good quality. What we have different is that we are the largest, and as I said during my presentation, we have a lot of specialties that you can take, and I would say that is really important because we have a really biggest specialists on many things. So great for you to be with us if you would like to specialize on something. Some of our professors are heads of international societies, so they are in big research. So I would say this is really important. Second thing is we are in the center of Prague, so it's better for or our lectures are in the center of Prague. And the third thing is that we are cooperating with 5 hospitals, so that's really important for our students. There are differences in the curriculum. We would like to have theoretical subjects as well as clinical years, so might be a little bit different from other faculties, but still I would say we are the biggest faculty of them all. I don't know if Salvador would like to add something towards this question, but
I mean, I think you answered it pretty well. Essentially, although we're all under different universities, we're just different faculties. I would say the only things that I would like to add is that of the 5 Charles faculties, 3 of them are located in Prague. The second faculty is located at Motol, so at the university hospital, and that's where their teaching happens. The first faculty of medicine, because we're a much larger university, much older, we are spread out throughout the entirety of Prague because we have what's known as institutes. So because our university doesn't only just offer medicine, it offers a lot of diplomas. When we go to anatomy, we go to the Institute of Anatomy, not just one classroom in a hospital. We go to a whole building which is dedicated for anatomy. The other 2 faculties, I believe, are located in Hradec Králové and Plzeň, which are the other 2 faculties. So these are 2 different towns outside of Prague, still in the Czech Republic. So this is just a different experience. It's outside of Prague, a smaller city. And the biggest difference that I would say is the size of the parallel and the exposure, as Dr. Sokub mentioned, to experts in the field. The vast majority of international committee members in the university are at the first faculty because we have access to the greatest amount of resources, the most advanced facilities that Charles University offers. And so many doctors and researchers from the other faculties come to the faculties of the first faculty in order to carry out a lot of their duties. But at the end of the day, it is all Charles University, and you graduate with the same diploma from Charles University, from a European university with an MD.
All right. Next question by Zaina. So Zaina, regarding that, we have already discussed. I'm just gonna let you know we have a recording available too, so you can get in touch with us. Next question is by Tim. Is physics required for the first faculty, and will it be on the entrance exam?
yes, it is
Yes.
required, and it will be on the entrance exam, and it has we have 75 questions. It's 25 questions, but still you need 50% of all of these subjects. But it would be advisable to look at the physics before entrance exam.
Yes. Also, just a little heads up. I know that many people don't fully understand medicine before getting into it and might think, oh, physics isn't important in medicine, the first final exam that you do in first year is your biophysics exam. That is the first final examination that you do. And then in third year, you continue with having to know a little bit of physics for pathophysiology. And then in fourth year, I've already finished my radiology and nuclear medicine exam, which are mostly purely physics. So remember, you're coming into medicine, which is a scientific field, which is very broad. So you're not going to throw any of these subjects aside. So it's always worth studying.
All right. And another question by Tim regarding the same subjects. Is maths of the same significance as biology, chemistry, and physics? Is it as important?
We don't have exams in maths, so it's just biology, chemistry, and physics.
Okay. Next question was already answered. Question by Homera. Is the state exam in English or the Czech language?
In English. Every exam at the university in the English parallel, except of course for your Czech classes, are in English.
He's asking about the state exam. A state
Yes.
exam is in Czech.
The
State exam, licensing examination. Yeah.
Sorry,
Not,
there's different
not that one.
terminology because a
Yeah.
state exam in the 6th year, which is how it's called for you to get your MD, is in English. So when you're in your 6th year, if you are referring to, as we just mentioned, the licensing exam for residency in the Czech Republic, then it will be in Czech. But don't let this dissuade you, because this is the same in every country in the world. If you want to go to Bulgaria, you have to speak Bulgarian. If you want to go to Spain, you have to speak Spanish. If you want to go to the Netherlands, you have to speak Dutch, etc. No matter what country you are going to, you have to have a high level of proficiency in the native language, because that's who you're going to be interacting with. But again, you come here for 6 years, and that's a decision that you're capable of taking. The university offers a number of language programs, not only in Czech, but also in a variety of languages, that if you so choose, you can explore once you're here.
All right. Question by Tim. Do you have to learn the child's curriculum in the Czech language in order to pursue a residency in the country?
As what Salvador now said, that if you are pursuing a residency, you need to the residency examination is in Czech. The study program is in English.
Yeah.
All right. Next two questions are similar. If you could address something about the dropout rate as well.
So we recently actually had this conversation at a open day for the foundation course, where Dr. Sokup and I also were there. And essentially, I will give you a short answer, but I'll try to dissect it as best as possible. You should never look at a number without understanding the basis behind the number. In overall, the dropout rate is not high to begin with. That is the first thing that should be said with. But even then, from the individuals that do drop out, I would say that the vast majority of individuals have other predisposing factors that cause them to drop out. Many individuals come from either different families, they realize that they don't want to be far away from home, and very commonly people realize that they don't want to be in medicine. Medicine is a very demanding course, and it's truly only for those who love to do medicine. And that has been my experience with a lot of friends who have gone in the first year, that they simply realize that their heart wasn't in it. So if your heart is in it, there's no reason why you wouldn't stay. Following this, the examinations are completely fair. I saw the other question was also about oral examinations, so I'll get to that in just a moment. But you are given 3 attempts for every single exam in the university. It is not a one-time, you have a bad day, or you just freeze and it's over. You have opportunities. So if you do an exam one day, it doesn't go your way, then you are welcome to try again within the entire examination period, which as previously mentioned, runs from the beginning of June to the middle of September, to retry your examination for 3 total attempts whenever you want. And under the situation where you do get to your 3rd attempt, your examination is done in front of a panel of members of the institute which are examining you in order to have a fair examination. So it won't be a thing where it's just you have a bad experience with one professor and then that professor is targeting you. They're very professional. They've been in the field for decades. They only want to see you pass. It's easier for them to see you pass than to have to consistently re-examine you. Then with respect to oral examinations, there are two different types of exams in this university. Of course, there's weekly tests and there's final examinations. The weekly tests, and I say that term very broadly because not every subject does weekly tests. We just call them weekly tests, but sometimes they're weekly, sometimes they're every 2 weeks, sometimes they're once a month, sometimes they're once every 2 months. What does stay consistent is that every single subject has a final examination. So these are done during the final examination block, of which there's a winter and a summer examination period. I've been previously talking about the summer examination period, which runs from June to September. There's also a winter examination period, which runs from the end of January to the end of February, just before you start your summer semester. These final examinations in your theoretical years, so years 1 through to 3, are always oral examinations, with the only exception that I can think of is medical, not terminology, medical informatics, which is a computer exam on the university's software where you have to answer a number of questions. The oral examination, it's very different and sometimes a bit new to students, but it tests your true understanding of the subject. It isn't just writing something down from memory and being able to just memorize a textbook and that's it, because that's not what medicine is about. Medicine is about applying a subject. So you will sit in front of an examiner, which can be your professor, another professor, a member of the institute, and you will be examined. And they will give you your fair exam. And if you've studied successfully, it will be no problem. And then I saw that on the little bit end of that final question, which was how many points do you need to pass? The way that this university works is based on a credit system. So by the end of the 6 years, you need 360 credits to pass, which is just a European standard of credit that we need to give you your diploma. Every single year, that means for 6 years, you need 60 credits. Depending on the year, your mandatory subjects give you a number of credits. So if I remember correctly, in first year, your mandatory subjects give you 58 credits. So you might say, so where do you get 60 from? This is where you take electives. Our university offers a number of electives which range from sport, academia, and a variety of other fields that give you a certain number of credits which you need to attain. Usually a general rule of thumb is that you have to do at least one elective per year to get the total number of credits. And then finally, with respect to your final examination, whether you, in our university, we use a 1, 2, 3, and a 4 system, which is just equivalent to A, B, C, and a D. So A being a 1, B being a 2, C being a 3, and a 4, which is a D, being a fail. Now, whichever grade you get doesn't affect how many credits you get from the subject. If I got an A in a subject, like anatomy, I get my 14 credits. And if a friend of mine gets a C in the exam, they get 14 credits, the exact same amount of credits. The only difference that it will make is to your grade point average throughout the year, which is previously mentioned with Dr. Sokop. There is merit scholarships, which is a small sum of money for students who are performing very well in the university, which you're given in the winter semester of every year if you have a specific grade point average. Again, for that, once you're here, it will be more explained and a lot easier to understand. But the credit system, if you pass every subject with a C, which I hope isn't the idea you're coming with, because we would hope you want to push yourselves to the limit. But if you pass everything with the minimum required grade, you will get the appropriate number of credits that you're required, plus an elective, and you will pass the year without an issue. When you come in enrollment day, when you're here with your guides, these questions will be answered more readily, more in detail. When you have your guide meetings, this entire topic usually is a 30-minute discussion. so you'll understand it more, but it's just a very quick overview that I've given, that it's fail or drop out rates don't reflect the whole image, and you need to take that into consideration. So the only thing I ask of you is don't pay attention to anyone saying anything too negative or even too positive, because very often it's somewhere that it lies in the middle, and then within the middle you have to dig a lot for the truth to truly understand a matter. These things can't just be represented with statistics.
Thank you very much, Salvador. Nick, let's take the last question by Tim now. For example, for a student studying AS physics right now, would it be considered a must to continue studying an A level? Is AS like enough, or do they need to do the complete A2?
Personally, I did not take either AS or A-level physics during my A-level examinations. I did biology, chemistry, maths, EPQ, and sports science. So I didn't take physics, and what I did was simply I looked at the syllabus for the entrance exam, got an A-level textbook that looked to appropriately cover the syllabus, and then I studied it. So if you're already doing AS physics, I assume that you're in a much better position than I was. If you so choose, if you look at the syllabus, which is what you should do, go on the website, look at the entrance requirements. The syllabus is present there that tells you, not only for physics, but for biology and chemistry, what subjects will be tested in the entrance examination. If you feel that AS is sufficient, and the remaining, if there is any remainder points of the syllabus, you can cover on your own, then that's a decision for you to take. If you want the additional A-level qualification, if you don't, if you think it's worth the effort, and if it's a large gap in the syllabus, if you already are being offered by your school the ability to further your education, especially for the entrance exam because it's relevant to the syllabus, then again, it's a decision that you would have to make. See if you want the qualification, see if you need the extra assistance in the subject, but I wouldn't take that decision without looking at the syllabus.
And I agree with what Salvador said. You all, as you said, as physics, you are already doing physics, so you know a lot. But it would be advisable to look at the syllabus if everything is okay with you, or use some A-level textbook just to add some knowledge. But as I would say, it's 25 points out of 75 points. So I wouldn't see it as a big issue or big problem.
All right. Since there are no more questions now, I'm just going to be dropping in our contact details once again in the chat box. So if any of you would like to know more or would like to register for the entrance exam in Dubai, then please do contact us. Other than that, I think this is where we can wrap up the session. Thank you very much, Dr. Sukup, Salvador, and the students to join us today.
Thank you very much for having us here. Thank you to Salvador, who joined me, and who is, I think, the student voice really important for us. And we are, as you can see, we are trying to cooperate together.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and thank you, Dr. Soko, for inviting me to join, and thank you, Kadri, for having us here. And we hope to see you soon, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Sukup. Thank you, Salvador, and thank you everybody for joining us. And hope to see some of you soon in Charles First Faculty. Thank you. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.